Hello, fourth and fifth grade leaders. It's Megan this week for videos. We've got a really fun set of lessons for our kids this week as we're working with Philip and the Ethiopian man. The opening activity when you open your lesson plan was talking about a balloon race where you have the balloon is the rocket and then the kid is the runner. And so just kind of connect that Philip ran alongside the chariot kind of thing. And so we decided to go ahead and scrap that. If your heart is set on doing that activity, let me know. I will make sure that we get it set up for you. Otherwise, we're going to have a couple different small group connect activities to start before we move into our whole group opener. All right, so we have the Bible verse activity. So if you're at the back of the lesson plan, it talked about in the supplies using some emojis in the Bible verse review. And so I've printed off a copy of the Bible verse for them at the table. And then each bag contains a few different sets of them. And you can have multiple kids doing this at one time. And they're going to go ahead and they're going to put emojis into order that matches the verse and help them kind of remember what that is. And then we'll also have at the other table set out, there's a part of the lesson plan also towards the back that talked about putting together prayer journals. And so I've got lots of 8.5 by 14 paper, a stapler, and then there's going to be coloring supplies. And then all I have to do is fold them in half and then we staple and then they can decorate and begin making their prayer journal. Both the emoji and the prayer journal are a great opportunity to leave those out, not just for the beginning, but some of those who maybe come in late during the so-and-so time or the opener activity. And then you can work on them after the so-and-so show and during the Mother's Day craft. All right, and then we are going to move into our whole group activity. At the back of the room, I have a bucket full of paper tubes. I know in the description it said to make a teepee, to make a pretend fire, but I had a ton of these little tiny ones, which make it an even better challenge for these fourth and fifth graders. So I've got a bucket of those, and then I have a whole bunch of tissue paper, both red and orange. Scatter the supplies about, and then you're going to divide your team into 2 teams of 3. You're going to have a fire maker, and then you're going to have runners. The runners are going to go and grab 10 paper tubes each, and then also grab the tissue paper. This is all the tissue paper we've got for the entire day, so let's not put everything out. Let's just go ahead and maybe just 2 or 3 pieces each. And then they're going to run up to the platform we have up here. And then I've got 2 boxes on the platform for where their fire makers have their designated space to make their fires. And then we'll go ahead and move into our opening discussion time. All right, and make sure that you're encouraging them at the end of all of this and be like, man, you guys didn't give up. We went on a trek. We worked hard. You worked as a team. And then you can tie the campfire back into the bottom line. And the bottom line this month is keep following God even when you have questions. They might have questions. Be like, why are we building a campfire? Why are we doing this? What's the story going to be today? But we just hold that to them and have them repeat it. Keep following God even when we have questions. And then we'll move into our worship, our declarations, and our so-and-so time. All right, and then after so-and-so, we have the Bible story extension. We've decided to go ahead and cut that. There's just a lot to do and fun things to do that are part of our lessons, and for Mother's Day that we just decided to cut that. So don't worry about the preteen Bible story extension with the Bible story clues. But we do also have the discussion questions, which we really want you to make sure you're spending time with those discussion questions because it's a great chance for kids to ask really tough questions and get answers to them. But we can also tie that into our popcorn prayers. And so at the platform, I'll also have an air popper ready with popcorn, and the kids are going to go ahead and they're going to put their popcorn kernels into the air popper and wait for their prayers to be answered, right? It's a great visual. And you know what, sometimes it takes a really long time for prayers to be answered, or it'll take no time and it happens really fast, or nothing happens and God says no. So it's a great way to kind of discuss and you know what, we keep on praying. Hey, your kernel didn't pop, let's try again, and put in some more. We just keep praying, and eventually your prayers get answered. So make that fun and exciting, and then snack a little bit, and then incorporate that into our discussion question time as well. And then I've got a great craft activity that Megan Rush has put together for us. She's got the sample, and so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be decoupaging some shells. And so I have boxes of these beautiful shells, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to take some Mod Podge, and you're going to like paint that down onto the scooped part of the shell, the inside part. And then there are different beautiful papers that you'll put down, that's like napkin, and then you'll put more decoupage on top of that to kind of seal that onto the shell. And then there's little strips that say like Happy Mother's Day on them, and then they can decoupage that on as well. And then there's also little bits of gold paint and some brushes, that when it's all said and done, to put like a beautiful gold rim on the outside of the shell. And then there's also going to be some Bible verse cards out on the table, that kids can spend some time in praying, or find a verse that really speaks to them, that they can give to their mom or the special woman in their life, and tie the Bible into that as well. If you've got any questions, we're all around this weekend, and we're really excited to serve alongside you. God bless.